All right, hi everybody. This is another meeting for SIG Windows. Welcome to our channel. I'm gonna kick things off and give everybody an update on a couple of different work streams that are happening on the SIG Windows community, and then we'll open up the floor for questions, comments, as well as any other thing that someone wants to bring up. So on the work streams, there's 3 separate work streams going on at the same time. The first one is we have folks from Aprenda that have actually started looking into kubeadm, and essentially we're making investments into that particular tool to allow it to stand up a Kubernetes cluster and also add Windows nodes into the environment. There's going to be a significant net benefit for our community for 2 reasons. Number one, it's going to significantly simplify the steps of adding a Windows node to your cluster. So now it's going to be just a couple of simple commands, and then you don't have to run those huge scripts that we have today. And the second thing is going to provide the basis for us to create automated tests on top of the SIG Windows work. So those are the tests that we're going to run nightly to make sure that neither the Kubernetes core project, neither any one of our own PRs breaks things. So that's probably the automated test is something that's going to happen post beta. But for now, we'll get the kubeadm work. The second work stream is the folks from Cloudbase are working, and they're basically making good progress on the CNI plugin for overlay network. They're actually working on 2 separate work streams here. Number one is they're going to use the Windows Server 2016 RS3 build that's going to come out sometime soon to create a virtual overlay network using OV and OVS. And they're also having a second work stream that will support an overlay network, but without the requirement for RS3. Now, each of those solutions has its own limitations as well as advantages. If RS3 is being used, you'll be able to have multiple containers per pod. It's going to use a CNI plugin from Microsoft. If RS3 is not used, you can only have only 1 container per pod. They did a couple of POCs to see if there was a proof of concept or a solution if you don't require RS3 to have multiple containers per pod. That was a hacky solution, so we opted out for using the Microsoft implementation and using RS3 as the basis for that multi-container per pod solution. Now, Microsoft is also working on its own set of PRs, and Dinesh is on the call, so I'll let him update us on that. But at the high level, Microsoft is working on basically getting those PRs into 1.9 of Kubernetes, and we're going to start talking to the networking guys from SIG Network to kind of start pushing the ball forward. Dinesh, you want to give that update really quickly?
Sure. So there are 2 PRs we are working on. One is so today Windows doesn't have the kubeproxy kernel mode support. So as of RS3, we basically enable the load balancing support in the platform. This is the same data plane driver that you use in Azure and or SDN environment, the BFP. So we are bringing in a kubeproxy kernel mode support. That is one PR. And the other PR is we are basically bringing in a native CNI plugin with which you can do multiple containers in a pod, and then basically we had lot of hacks in the 2016 where you have to have multiple network adapters to the container in order to provide internet connectivity. So we are removing that workaround and basically trying to map the exact set of features that Linux has today to Windows platform, and then we are trying to bring things natively. So that is the second PR.
Yeah, thank you, Dinesh. So we'll work together and figure out, how all these significant investments from Microsoft can make it into upstream Kubernetes. That way, the combination of the 2 PRs that Dinesh mentioned, the RS3 build from Windows, and the work that we're doing from Cloudbase are going to get us into a point that we can actually have a really solid beta solution for our customers. Now, if all the PRs from Microsoft land in 1.9, we're going to have to figure out, do we get our beta out with 1.9, or can we get the beta out earlier? Right now, we can have that discussion. Our goal was to get the beta before KubeCon, but I think it's too early right now to tell. We're going to get the PRs in, make sure everything is stabilized, make sure Cloudbase has enough time to bake their solution on top of it, and then we'll make a good decision for beta. I know that's not ideal timeline, and customers have been waiting for this to come earlier. But given the resources that we have and the timelines and the many moving parts that we have, then this is the best we can do right now. So the other update I wanted to have was essentially, so we have Cloudbase working on this, we have Microsoft working on this. There's also Tigera and Calico that are looking into the CNI and the PRs from Microsoft, and potentially we could have another CNI coming from them that could support the Windows effort. Right now, we don't have any solid committed plans from them, so we're just taking this on a day by day. On the hosting front, given that RS3 is going to be a major requirement for hosting multiple containers per pod, Peter, as well as obviously the guys from Microsoft, Anthony Howe is not here on the call today, but I'm assuming you guys are engaged with Microsoft to make sure that when RS3 ships, you'll support it on Google Cloud.
Yes, we are engaged. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but
yeah, you don't need to break any commitments or say anything more than that. So that's good. Our goal, given that all the instructions that we have, and most people have been trying this on either Azure or Google Cloud, we want to make sure that both platforms support the build. That way, we'll be able to hit the ground running once it's available.
Yeah, so I've been trying out the insider preview builds myself, just rolling my own images and trying them out in VMs in GCE. So I am trying to make sure that the support will be there.
Excellent. And actually on the Windows Insider builds, there's a couple of bugs that Cloudbase have filed, and Dinesh and his team are working on fixing those. They're not in the latest Insiders build that came out maybe 10 days ago, but they should be on the next available one. So yes. We'll be able to validate those things. And I think Cloudbase is not blocked by those bugs, but there's a few things that they can't verify until we fix them.
Yes. The next one should be having it. The next Insider build, I don't know whether it went last week, Friday. Let me check back, but it has already reached the branch.
Excellent. Yeah, that's awesome. Then David Porter, the intern from Microsoft, that's the last thing that we have, has completed the PRs for basically, he has a combination of 2 PRs that he had created. The first one was on the node stats, and the other one was for the pod level stats. The node stats was approved. That was a huge journey. So I think David had a lot of back and forth trying to get that approved. We're talking to the tune of like 30 messages per day. And the second one, the pod level stats, should be merged soon. It's not completely approved yet, but it should be approved and it should be merged soon after. So node stats approved, and it should be merged as soon as the queue is open for 1.9, and the pod level stats soon after. If you guys are interested in hearing more about, learning more about these PRs, there are PR 51152 and PR 50396. All right, that's all the updates that I have from the community perspective. Is there anybody that has any questions, concerns, or anything they want to bring up, or any other status?
I had a question about previously when you were talking about current efforts, you were talking about pods, largely around storage. Is there anything happening there, or did that all get shifted over towards like working on Cube ADM?
No, we actually, volume, secrets, and config maps, we already tested them, and there's a very nice document on how to configure those. There's a couple of small issues around secrets, just because there's no asynchronous swap on Windows, but Bob and the team were able to find a few workarounds. I believe I'll ask Bob to post his document on the community so everybody can see it, and he'll post it on SIG Windows shortly after this. He wrote a nice document explaining how people can leverage this.
That's fantastic.
I wrote a note here, so I'll ask Bob too. I think Bob is at the Kubernetes training today. He's actually a trainer, not getting trained. So he'll as soon as he's back, hopefully by end of day or tomorrow morning, he'll post that. Robert.
Great.
Anybody else? Any other update or any concerns?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Cool. I don't know how many of you guys are going to end up going to KubeCon in Austin. It's a short drive for me. I live in Houston, so I should be able to get there fairly easily. But we did submit a session for our work around, Windows and networking and all these things. They told us that will be notified within the next week or so if our session is approved. But hopefully we do get the session. All right, that's it. I guess short meeting today. I'll upload it on YouTube like always. Feel free to engage with us in any way possible. We'd love to get more people and more eyes on this work. And I'm super excited about RS3 and all the other work that's happening on the networking side. I think it's a tremendous improvement. It's getting us closer to parity with Linux. And people will be able to put production workloads on Windows Server containers and Kubernetes very soon. Cool. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.